Hi, and today I would like to talk about Japanese manners. First, I will talk about some things you should not do in Japan, and then some things you should, and finally, a conclusion. Some things you should not do in Japan. The first thing is not to wear slippers on tatami. When you go to Japanese hotels, there are usually tatamis in the room, but be careful not to wear slippers on them, even though no one is watching you. Japanese people want to separate time between wearing slippers in hallways and spending time on tatami. Next is not to stab your food with your chopsticks. When you go outside to eat food, you will use chopsticks. But make sure not to stab your food because it will not actually look good, and also you should be able to hold it up. Finally, is not to do two-person chopsticks. Two-person chopsticks can only be used at one place in Japan, which is at funerals. Japanese people put the bones into the urn with two-person chopsticks, so make sure not to do it. Next, I will talk about some things you should do in Japan. First is to take off shoes at houses so that you won't take in any germs into the place. You should always do this even though it is your hotel room, so that your room will stay clean. Next is to wipe your hands before eating to prevent yourself from getting sick. Japanese people always wipe their hands with wet tissues, but there is no need to always keep it in your bag because the staff will always give you wet tissue with your water. Next is to hold up your plate while eating so that you won't spill your food on the table or your clothes. This is an important thing to do, but you should only do it if your plate is too far from you. The next thing you should do in Japan is to say "itadakimasu" before you eat your food. This means to thank the food you will eat and is one of the most common manners that Japanese people always do. Last is to say "ごちそうさまでした" after you eat your food to show politeness, thanks, and respect to the person who made the dish, and is also one of the most common manners in Japan, like "itadakimasu." So the conclusion is that there are things you should do and not do in Japan, and these are not to wear slippers on tatami, not to stab your food with chopsticks, not to do two-person chopsticks. The things you should do is to take off shoes at houses, wipe your hands before eating, hold up your plate, say "itadakimasu" and say "ごちそうさまでした." As you can see, Japan has many manners while eating, so you should be careful while you eat your food, but most importantly, have fun. Thank you.